Ready? Give it up for stream number 20! Stream number 20! Let's give it up for stream number 20.
Yeah, woo!
Hello there, General
Hello.
Kenobi.
Yeah.
That's my intro, right? That's what I say.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Hey, Shadow.
Hey, you're gonna have to tell me what the chat says temporarily because I'm trying to get back into the control room. But YouTube's just like, no, get out.
Aku wants us to say goodbye, Samurai.
Goodbye, Samurai.
Tyler TV says, "Hey Lois, we're nominated again."
Oh my god. Stop. Oh boy.
I don't actually remember how Peter laughs. I think it's like that.
I'm pretty sure it
Doesn't
is.
he?
I don't know. I don't watch that show.
Hello everyone. Hey. Wasn't this the year Sonic Rush released? Oh my god.
Was it?
Who
I
would
thought
know
Sonic
that?
Rush
I don't
was-
know.
No, I'm pretty sure Sonic Rush is 2004. This is Shadow the Hedgehog. This is the year of Shadow the Hedgehog.
Ugh.
No, I could be wrong.
All
Maybe
right.
Sonic Rush was 2004.
Fine. You know what? This week, on the Let's Remember, we're gonna do 2005 in video games.
All right, yeah. Can you confirm if Sonic Rush was 2005? I thought it was 2004.
All right. In 2005, the television show 60 Minute tackled issues within the video game controversies. Huh.
It was 2005. Okay, I was wrong. Oh, Sonic Advance 3 was 2004. That's right. Yeah, that's right.
Okay, well, I'm trying to do my thing. The year was
Okay.
2005,
Well,
all right?
Shadow the Hedgehog was definitely
Oh my
2005.
god.
I'm just doing that to mess with you. Go ahead.
The Xbox 360 was officially announced on an MTV special hosted by Elijah Wood.
Ooh.
The biggest selling game was Mario Kart DS.
Yeah, that's the best one.
This Wikipedia article does not tell me how much it made. It just tells me it was number one.
Well, that's good.
Number two was Pokemon Emerald. Not surprising.
Yeah.
Although it is a little wild to think that Mario Kart is more popular than Pokemon. Wow.
Well, maybe
Okay.
for that year. I
Nope,
don't
just
know.
in general.
No.
Forever.
Okay. All right. I mean, nowadays with the latest entries in both franchises,
Well,
yes.
let me put it this way: if you cumulatively count Pokemon, but if you just count one of their games, I feel like Mario Kart would beat it.
I think it depends on the Mario Kart because I know Mario Kart Wii is like one of the best-selling games of all time. I'm pretty sure it's in like the top.
Mario Kart Wii U, I'm sure, was also one of the best-selling games on the Wii U.
On the Wii U, not of all time. Oh my
We
God.
also have Super Mario Strikers, the GameCube, number 3. Madden NFL 06 in 05. All right.
Ooh.
NCAA football, Star Wars Battlefront 2. There you go,
Yeah.
Shadow. I almost called you Star Wars.
There you go, Star Wars. Oh, thanks.
MVP Baseball 2005.
I own
Star Wars
that.
Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith on the PS2. NBA Live 06. And number 10, Mario and Luigi Partners in Time.
Oh,
Rest in
wow.
peace. What is it? Alpha Dream. Rest in peace, Alpha Dream.
R.I.P.
The Alpha Dream show. Also, Roller Coaster Tycoon 3 was doing pretty good in computer games. Now
That's
you.
Oh boy.
Wait until they make Pokemon Kart. That will kill all the other games. Oh my god, could you imagine? Mario Kart 8 sold 42 million. 8 million of that was on the Wii U. Ooh, oof. Big oof.
Yeah, that's
All
sad.
right. Well, Mr. Streak,
That's my name.
what do we got this year?
We are back to the half-hour category for 2005, and we've got 5 nominees as per usual. So let's go ahead and get into that. First up, we have Family Guy with North by North Quahog. Yep. Second up, we've got South Park with the episode Best Friends Forever. Samurai Jack with the Four Seasons of Death. The Simpsons, future drama. And last but not least, the fifth nominee, Fear of a Krabby Patty and Shell of a Man. Those are the 5 shows we are talking about tonight. I hope you're all excited, because I sure am.
Wait, which episode? Which SpongeBob one?
Fear of a Krabby Patty and Shell of a Man.
But both of them?
Yeah.
Is both an option?
It is with the award show Audit. This ain't the recast. Get out of here.
Oh, dear. Oh, dear.
Yep. So those are the 5 nominees. We've got quite the selection this week.
Aku wants you to know that last week you used the wrong picture of Samurai Jack.
I know. I addressed that in the stream. I literally said I'd get a new picture, and I did.
Pie Guy wants you to know that you used the wrong picture.
Pie, you were there when I addressed that I used the wrong picture on the stream. Why do you do this to me?
Wait, I'm sorry. Did you say that Tom Kenny voices the professor?
Oh my god, do not. No. It's in the past. It never needs to be acknowledged again. It's over.
All right, Shadow. Which one are we talking about first?
We're going to be talking about the Family Guy episode North by North Quahog.
Will you stop saying that?
No. That's how it's spelled. That's
you know how it's pronounced, though. Oh my god.
Quahog.
All right.
How is it pronounced? I actually don't remember.
I'm just not even going to tell you.
Okay, good. Then I'll keep calling it Quahog because I don't know what to say. Anyway.
Okay. All right. So in this episode, Family Guy has been renewed. It's back from the dead. And Peter and Lois are experiencing some troubles in the bedroom. And so to spice things up, they go on a second honeymoon where they end up taking Mel Gibson's suite at a fancy hotel where Peter decides to steal the Jesus movie Part 2. And Mel Gibson hunts them down, and then they defeat Mel Gibson. Meanwhile, Stewie and Brian have to be parents to Meg and Robot Chicken Kid. So, Brian.
Robot Chicken's the most popular show on Cartoon Network.
Shut up, Chris, or I'll spank you. Oh, man. Don't pronounce it Quahog. Worst mistake of my life.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so yeah, I mean this is the first episode of the show post revival. Comparing it to PTV, which is like obviously fresh in our minds, this episode definitely has less. You remember that time when jokes? Like, I think it happens once.
Yeah, once or
twice.
twice.
Like, that specific wording, at least. That specific form of the joke. Although there's definitely other jokes that are, like, very fast jokes that they then move on from. Pop culture references, all sorts of other stuff. As far as, like, the main storyline, I could not care less about these two characters' love life. But I will admit that the story of Brian and Stewie being parents, like that one had a hook to it. I'll say that those two are definitely an iconic pair. Yeah,
it was. I'm not really sure what the motivation was behind having an homage / parody of North by Northwest here, but it was like it was faithful in the sense that it had the iconic set pieces. I mean, the obvious shot of Peter running from the plane in the cornfield that comes flying over him, and then the whole setting with it being on Mount Rushmore at the end. I mean, like, if you've seen the movie, you recognize it instantly, but I'm not sure what the decision was behind that. Still, I thought this was a much better parody, especially compared to Blue Harvest, because it wasn't like they were just doing the movie all over again. Like, it just kind of came in a little bit. And the whole like ending climax resolution segment with like Lois, regaining her feeling for Peter or whatever, and Mel Gibson like falling off of Mount Rushmore, like that was all its own take on the film rather than just doing what the film already did. So much more respect and appreciation for that alone.
Yoshinator says, isn't it mostly about Mel Gibson and their relationship? No, it is certainly not. Mel Gibson isn't like not even mentioned. I think they do a brief Passion of the Christ reference early in the episode, and then that whole Mel Gibson stuff isn't until like after the halfway point.
Yeah. The only
and
thing
then
is the room that they rent. Like Peter pretends to be
right.
him, but that's it.
But Mel himself doesn't even show up until like way in, and I mean he is only has a few lines. I'm sure that's kind of how the episode was marketed, and it might be what people remember the episode for. But in terms of like what the actual story is, it's definitely between their romance. Yeah. Like I don't think the romance was done poorly per se. I don't care about it. Like I enjoy Family Guy. Oh boy, I enjoy Family Guy.
You enjoy Family
Guy?
Guy?
No, I enjoy. Wait, there's a qualifier. Hang on. I enjoy Family Guy the most, mostly when it's just kind of doing those really crazy off the wall jokes. Not all of them work, but like for whatever reason, a G.I. Joe character shows up. He's just in a bathroom stall, and he shows up to give the, knowing is half the battle speech, just out of nowhere, and it's funny. It's pretty funny. There's the joke about the upside down head kid, upside down face kid. Oh man.
Yeah.
Especially, I love the one with where Stewie like slowly tilts his head towards Brian. They're good jokes. The Bed Bath and Beyond joke. It might be low hanging fruit, but it's there. It's funny. The 2.5 Men joke. Like I don't know. I feel like I've seen maybe variations on these jokes before, but like Family Guy does them decently well. I don't know. I thought this was all right. Like, I don't know that there was really anything here that's Emmy nomination worthy. In fact, I just don't think there is. But as far as an episode of Family Guy, like, I enjoyed watching this. I certainly didn't regret it. And I felt a lot more for this than I did with most of those Bob's Burgers episodes we watched.
100%. 100% agree.
You agree with that?
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. Whereas, like, this was a fine episode. Like, I enjoyed it way more than, like Blue Harvest, obviously. And, I mean, I'd say I think PTV is a better episode than this one when comparing other nominees of Family Guy. But this
and it has more to say.
Yes,
too.
It does. This one's just kind of... It's decently good. Like, it's a fun time. It's not trying to be, like, super serious. It's not trying to break new ground or anything like that. It feels like it's just a fun episode of the show. And, I mean, when it comes down to it, that's kind of what this series, from what I can tell, is really just going for. It's just trying to be a fun comedy-based, random assortment of whatever. And, I think it succeeds on that front. I don't think it's nominee worthy, but it's not bad by any means. I think it's a just fine episode.
Yeah, Media Fanatic says this episode was nominated for an Emmy because it was the return of the show. I don't really think that's a good enough reason to nominate something for an award, especially considering they have a whole season of episodes too.
Yeah, why wasn't Samurai Jack season 5 nominated then?
Seth said in a retrospective this was an example of his writing chops before hitting the bottle too hard. Oh, yikes.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay, Peter Don brings up. Yeah, that was something I had also mentioned. Like, the opening with listing all the shows that went on for way too long. I agree. I got the joke. It was for me. It kind of got everything off on the wrong foot because it's the same thing with PTV and the Al Qaeda thing. It was like the episode starts with this like overly long, like this joke that just overstays its welcome completely, and it just like, get on with it. Can we please move on? Like, I got the joke by the 4th show that was named, and it just kept going and going and going and just dragging it out. And it's like, after that speed bump, the episode just got so much better. That's just a thing I'm noticing. I hope not every Family Guy episode is like that, where every episode starts with this overly long single joke that just takes an eternity to get through. But it's like a really bad way to give a first impression. I don't know. That's just me. That's like my biggest complaint, but yeah.
I mean, I appreciate the joke. I don't think it's actually, I don't even know that it really is a joke so much as it just is heavy critique at Fox. And that's why I like it. And that's why I like how long it goes on for, because it's just true. I don't remember how many years Family Guy was off the air, but it wasn't a lot of years. They list off some like 30 shows. that Fox went through in however many years, and I think that's worth noting. And I completely ordinarily I wouldn't appreciate this sort of like creator like self-insert joke or whatever. I mean, we make fun of it all the time with the stupid Family Guy versus Robot Chicken joke. But like I think that in this case, if you made a show that was beloved and sold so many DVDs that you get back on the air, wouldn't you want to make a big long joke out of how poorly Fox is managed?
I mean, yeah, but like I think it still got the point across way before when it ended. But like I get
What
it.
what do you want them to do? Just pick and choose half of those? If you're gonna make the point, you need to make that point. I mean, you can not enjoy it. I'm not saying you have to enjoy it. I'm just saying I think there's a very specific reason for it. I don't think this was a case of an overly long gag that's just overly long because they don't have a good punchline. I think it's overly long just because they really want to nail the point in. Like, hey, you idiots! We made a great show, and you brought us back because look at how many things you made that failed. And not just that, not just that. I don't even think that it's particularly scathing on those shows that got canceled. Like Firefly was one of those shows. I think it's a critique of how Fox cancels its shows that do really well and are really meaningful before they even have a real chance. I don't know about any of the other shows, but I know for a fact that Firefly is one of those shows.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, like I got the point that it was driving home, and it's like I don't disagree with what it's saying, but I felt like it came to the detriment of like the viewing experience. I don't know.
Okay. No, you can. I mean, someone Philip points out in the comments that they could have had a half the shows just as text scrolling by, and yeah, absolutely, I agree with that. The way they did the joke, I don't necessarily think is the best way to do it, but I think that I think it was an important joke to be made, really.
Mm-hmm.
Um. So. Okay. Yeah. As far as other things in the episode, like I don't know. Family Guy is a little difficult to talk about just because so much of it is just kind of gag based. Um, there was a lot of shows around this time that were making jokes about Mel Gibson and the Passion of the Christ. I know South Park did it. I know Simpsons did it. Simpsons did it.
Of course, Simpsons did it.
Simpsons did it. And then this show did too. I don't really know anything about that movie, to be honest. I haven't seen it. So, I don't know. But apparently that was a cultural touchstone.
It was back then. I remember it being talked about a lot. I was too young to really like watch it or care or anything like that, but I definitely remember it being a thing in pop culture, for sure.
Violet, I get it. It's the last episode that Seth MacFarlane wrote. I know. I saw your comment like 3 times. I didn't think it was important enough to say, but I get it. I wish he would stick to writing things instead of voicing, but...
No, then we wouldn't get the Emperor and Robot Chicken.
Actually, I wish he would just go away. Oh, man. So...
Okay, I mean,
yeah.
I've said all I really need to say about this episode.
I mean, same.
The most prominent thing for me was the movie it was parodying, because that's the most attachment I have to anything in here. So
You laughed pretty hard at the G.I. Joe joke.
I did. That was great. But I just didn't. I didn't want to just repeat it again because you already
That's
said
fair.
it. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, so I would just say overall it's just a pretty middle of the road episode. I wouldn't have nominated this for an Emmy, and even if there wasn't many other episodes to nominate from Family Guy, does Family Guy need to be picked? Not necessarily. Like, I mean, we hit the point home. I guess, look, in 2005, there's not necessarily as many animated shows out there to choose from as there is today.
Mm-hmm.
So I can kind of see how something like this could get in. It's not the case where this is a bad episode. It's not like it's terrible, but it's just like I have to believe that there are better episodes out there to nominate, and I know for a fact there's at least one. So,
Yep.
we can move on.
Okay. So second up, we have South Park with the episode "Best Friends Forever."
Okay. So in this episode, Kenny dies tragically, and He is recruited by Heaven because he is really good at this video game on the PSP, which actually was a test sent down by God to recruit someone who's really, really good at playing that game to fight in a war between Heaven and the underworld, using like the golden PSP. Meanwhile, back on Earth, Kenny is magically resuscitated, but he's brain dead, and is just a vegetable being kept alive by a feeding tube. And there's a big debate in South Park over whether they should pull the plug or let him keep living on in a vegetative state.
Yeah, this one's very interesting.
You don't really know why this episode was nominated. I mean, I can tell you why. So there was a very prominent case of. I guess I could look it up. I don't really know the exact details, and I probably should if I'm going to talk about it. But basically, right when this episode aired, there was a big like debate over pulling the plug on someone who was like in a coma. And I believe the spouse of the person and the parents of the person disagreed on it. It was like a big thing, and there was lots of discussion in the media, and the person actually passed the day after the episode aired. Like, South Park really hit it. Whether or not you think this is an important issue, 100% it was in 2005.
Yeah. I think that context was important because Pi actually gave it to me before we watched the episode, and I think it's very useful knowing that going in, like having that the context is very, very important in this episode, because it kind of like if I didn't know that viewing this, I would probably not have. I wouldn't have not having that insight would kind of make me view the episode in a less like message oriented way. Like the message is still there regardless of whether or not you know
here,
it. But...
I can tell you the exact details here from via Wikipedia.
Go for it.
The Terry Schiavo case. Basically Teresa Marie Schiavo was a woman in an irreversible persistent vegetative state. Her husband and legal guardian argued that she would not have wanted to prolong artificial life support with no hope of recovery. And in 1998, elected to remove her feeding tube, but her parents disputed the husband's assertions and challenged the medical diagnosis, arguing in favor of continuing artificial nutrition and hydration. It was highly publicized, and President George Bush, caused a 7-year delay before the feeding tube was ultimately removed in 2005. Like I said, a day after that episode aired. So this was a thing that went on for a very, very long time. This was very public, and the fact that the President of the United States stepped in and said something and halted this should really say something. And even today, there's a big there's like a big debate over euthanasia, over vegetative states, over comas, over when it's appropriate to do what. And there's, it's a difficult thing. There's not necessarily an easy answer. I think the show does a decent job at trying to kind of portray both sides. Unlike a lot of South Park episodes, I don't think it's really like overly one-sided, although I do get the feeling that the South Park people are on the side of pulling the plug, just because the show makes a point about how like Kenny is basically just a nothing at this point. He is no longer a person. He is just a vessel that is being kept alive, in the loosest terms of being alive as possible. This is heavy, but this is what the episode is. We have to talk about this. It's just true. I mean, you can't talk about South Park without talking about the implications, the cultural implications around South Park. So
I think what I appreciate most about this episode is not necessarily the debate, but how it calls out people turning it into this huge nationwide thing.
Yes,
where so many people
media
get involved
circus.
with it. Yes, exactly. Where so many people get involved with it, and it's like that's blowing the whole situation out of control, and all these people giving their input when they have nothing to do with it and aren't involved. I think that's way more important of like what the episode's getting at, rather than picking a side necessarily. I mean, like you said, I agree.
Yeah.
I feel like they're more on the side of pulling the plug, but the episode does do a good job of kind of, catering both perspectives, and I appreciate that. I'm glad it's not 100% totally biased in favor of one way or the other.
Yeah, there are times when South Park is very much that.
Yes,
very much. The creators have their opinion, and they really want to push it, and that's fine. It's their show; they can do that. But I don't think that was the point of this. I do agree. I think the ultimate point, and because the basically Kenny has a will, right? He has a will because he dies in every episode, up to a certain point, and then he just dies sporadically. But he has a will, and the person administering it has lost the last page.
Please,
right?
For the love of God. ... Oh wait, I don't know where the last page is.
Right.
Yeah. And I love how it's a fake out too, because you think that one of the options is going to be pull it or don't, and it's like, no, please, for the love of God, don't air it on national television. And everyone's just like, oh.
Right. Yeah. So that's the message of the episode.
Exactly.
The message of the episode is ultimately in all of this debate, these people forget that it's still a person who, it's still a person. Like you're making a big. It's like anything that becomes politicized. Anything not inherently political that then becomes politicized. You're kind of taking a person and using them as a prop for your mouthpiece. You might genuinely care, but it's still, it just turns nasty. So, but yeah, no, I liked what this episode had to say about that. I liked that it had a story as well. It wasn't just let's just mirror what's going on in the real world. There's a lot of South Park episodes that are like, let's just put a mirror up to the real world, and if it doesn't make for a good story, then who cares? That's what South Park does. Yeah, South Park does sometimes. But in this episode, I like that there is this narrative where there's this war between the angels and the demons, and Kenny is the Keanu Reeves, as they keep saying, which is a reference that has aged like gold, because people still know and love Keanu Reeves. But yeah, I like that there's that whole kind of, I don't even know if I could say it's a subplot, it's the A plot, it's the B plot. I don't know what you want to call it, the fantasy part of this plot. I think it's really the fun part of the story. But I like it, and I like that it kind of creates these interesting stakes about whether Kenny's going to live or die. It's a great use of Kenny's whole, he dies a lot thing. Like, I think it's just a good use of that fact. I really like Kenny as a character. I don't think he gets enough episodes or love. And so I always enjoy seeing him get the focus. And it was really cool.
Yeah, I enjoyed this episode greatly. I agree. I like the ongoing plot between the two sides, and some of those demon designs were really cool too. I liked there was a lot of variety in the way the different demons were created. I also really enjoyed Satan's emperor henchman, and the whole scene
boyfriend. You mean?
Yeah, and the whole scene where he goes up and he whispers in the president's ear, and he goes, and he's like, "No, you weren't supposed to say that. No, you weren't supposed to say that."
How are we gonna influence them? We'll just do what we always do. Use the Republicans.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that. That was a lot of fun.
I also feel like the commentary was spot on, that the guy that was being whispered by the evil emperor dude, right? He says these evil things, or he says the things, and then he gives a thumbs up after everything, right? Yeah. Like just a generic gesture. So. I mean, I think this definitely deserved to be nominated. Whether you like it or not, it did touch on something that was highly relevant, highly important, and has something interesting to say about it, rather than just we figured out the correct solution or whatever. It really is more just hey, let's not forget there's a person involved here. Let's in all of the crazy media circus and debates, and it's still a person's life, and it's
Yeah.
So.
Yep, I agree as well. This is definitely worthy of a nomination. One of the better of the, definitely in the better half of South Park episodes that we've talked about. I really enjoyed it. Yeah,
okay.
I'm sold on this one. It's called Best Friends Forever cartoon.
Yes, not to be confused with Super Best Friends. Also, not to be confused with the other episode where Kenny is in the process of dying, which is Kenny dies, I believe is the name of that
Well,
episode.
well, that's a really hard one to remember.
Mm,
uh,
uh, okay.
poor Kenny. Okay, all right. We can move on to
Oh wait,
nominee.
hang on. We didn't
Oh,
mention. Hang on, we have to mention the reason and the reason why Cartman is
oh
is
yeah,
is
yeah.
for Kenny dying is that Kenny gets a PSP, and I love how this episode just chills for the PSP. I'm sure they were not paid.
Yeah.
They just probably really liked the PSP. They might have been paid. I don't know, but like. It's just funny because Cartman is super jealous and he wants Kenny to die because Kenny left him the PSP in his will. So Cartman, being Cartman, has to just like pretend to care about Kenny, and then in classic
uses
Cartman
the
style,
best friends forever necklace.
yes,
And he brings it up to the hospital bed, locks it together, and the judge is like, well, that's all the proof we need. And then it cuts to all these people across the whole town or whatever, and everyone's wearing one.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
That's good. That's good stuff.
And I love it that it's like it's a good kind of like metaphor for the for marriage, right? For the spouse in the situation. Because it's like instead of a ring, but it's the BFF necklace.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great stuff. Great stuff. Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Can't forget Cartman. You just can't.
Of course. Okay, so next up we've got nominee number 3 with Samurai Jack, season 4 episode, The 4 Seasons of Death. This is the stapled Samurai Jack compilation episode of this season, because it seems to be it's a common thing in Samurai Jack.
Okay. So I'm gonna try here.
Good luck.
Oh wait, hang on. Whatever also wants to point out that Kenny was on the side of PlayStation in the Black Friday episode too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in the few episodes you've seen Shadow, you know that they like to reference video games a lot on South Park because this is now the 3rd episode we've seen that centers around video games. Okay. So his name is Jack, and he's got to get back to the past. All right, back. So, he walks around through various seasons and, has to overcome various challenges. He's got to overcome some weird ghost things in the summer in a desert because it's hot, because it's the summer. He's got to beat some sort of egg person who sets a trap for him in the fall. In the winter, he's got to fight. I don't know what that thing was, a Sasquatch or something? Like some sort of a Yeti. Yeah. Some sort of like Yeti clan who forges a blade to fight him with. And then in the spring he has to overcome the temptations of some lady.
The Great Fairy from Zelda. Yeah, it's Samurai Jack. We're finally here. It took so long, and I'm so excited because I love this show.
Samurai Jack looks like the professor, says Aku.
Wow, I never heard that before.
I don't know if you're sarcastic or not.
I didn't mean to be sarcastic, but I guess it came across that way. But no, I guess it was because I have heard that before. But anyways, no, I think this is a good episode. It's not the episode I would have chosen from season 4. I'll just put that out there. I think there are better episodes from this season that could have been nominated over this one, but I get why this one was chosen. Because this one is one of those episodes that definitely leans more into the artistic side of things rather than trying to tell like a super like a long narrative or trying to lean in on comedy, because Samurai Jack likes to do a lot of different things. But as far as like the artistic merit, I mean, the whole fact that it's going for a 4 seasons kind of idea, that alone is kind of the giveaway. I think for the most part, these each of these shorts is pretty good. But I would definitely agree that the fall one is probably the weakest of the 4.
Do you think
the egg guy, as you called him?
Oh, I like the egg guy the most. I thought he was the best. Do you think that was called this because it was in the 4th season?
No, it's because. Oh my gosh. Okay, I see what you did. Dang it. No, that's a
This episode's
coincidence.
also known as Xlix,
Yes, it
just
is.
so everyone
Yes, it
knows.
is. Roman numerals.
Yeah. Now, this episode is no Rick Mirai Jack. I will
Oh
give
my
it that.
gosh.
It is not as good as the amazing Rick and Morty episode that Shadow hasn't seen.
No.
I kind of want to spoil something for you, but I won't.
Please
Uh,
don't.
Samurai Jack shows up. All right, he's there, and he tells Morty that Aku is really Rick, and then Jack and Morty go on adventures. See,
Oh
you
my
don't know if I'm
gosh.
joking or not.
I don't know
I could.
anything. I'm not even listening anymore.
Oh man. Ooh-ee.
Oh my gosh.
And then Mr. Poopy Butthole shows up
Oh my
and
god.
he says,
Yoshinator
"Ooh-ee."
just confirmed what you're saying is 100% true. So now the episode's ruined for me. Way to go, guys. Way to go.
Ooh-ee. What do I know about Samurai Jack? Ooh-ee. You want to know the real ending to season 5? I've kept it hidden.
Oh my god.
Right? Because doesn't it end on a cliffhanger or something?
Season 5 does not end on a cliffhanger. Season 5
Oh, okay.
ends the series for good, and a lot of people don't like it because
Oh, don't spoil that! Shadow, I didn't know that!
you didn't know that people don't like it?
He gets back to the past? Oh, no!
All I said is people don't like the ending. That's all I said.
I guess that's true. I guess he could die. That's another way to
I didn't
end
tell you
it.
anything. I just said people don't like it. I'm not
So
gonna
anyway,
spoil that.
Rick and Morty, what a great show.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm gonna get us back on track. Samurai Jack, the 4 Seasons of Death. Yeah, I think of the 4 shorts, my personal favorite is Spring, just because I like the idea of the.
I think we know why you like Spring the most.
Why? Why Pie? Tell me.
I think we
Tell me
all
why.
know.
Tell me why.
Because, it's the season of love.
I was just gonna say it's the nicest outside.
It's the season of fertility.
I mean, if that's why you like it, sure. But I just like it because it's nice outside. I mean, autumn's pretty nice outside too, but there's a weird blue egg guy. So, um, no, I like spring the most just because I like the idea of the whole siren aspect of it, with Jack going into the luscious, area where he finally has a chance to rest, but he still can't rest. Even when he's finally given an opportunity to do so, there's still evil behind it. And I appreciate it so much because it's very rare when you actually get to see Jack just take a moment to breathe and not be so focused and determined. And so for him to have a moment like that, it is refreshing. And then I like the twist at the end with it, obviously being evil vines that are holding him.
It's not even a good twist. I saw it coming.
Well,
I hardly know this show, and I saw it coming.
Yes, because it's called the 4 Seasons of Death. You kind of expect that going.
To be honest, I didn't even know that. It's just labeled as Xlix on the HBO Max.
The episode starts with the title Seasons of Death. It I don't know. Anyway,
in papyrus.
Okay. yes. But I just like it the most in terms of Jack finally having a breather and having a good character moment.
Okay.
But I think all 4 shorts are pretty good. Yeah, what'd you think?
Am I allowed to say I wasn't crazy about this?
You're allowed to.
Okay. I appreciate the artistry of this episode. I think that it deserves to be nominated. Well, I mean, I don't know compared to other Samurai Jack episodes, but of basically anything we watched this week, this is the only episode that really kind of plays with form in terms of television, both in 4 shorts, which is, it's not like the most original thing, but it is a thing. And then also the aspect ratio. They play with that quite a lot in the first segment.
Yeah, the
No,
show is known for doing that.
I thought it was all right. I don't know. Maybe I just don't have the attention span for the show. I kind of hate to say that. It's how I felt as a kid, and unfortunately I kind of feel like maybe that's me now. I started watching the show a few, oh God, years ago. Has it been years, Shadow? I think it's been at least a year. And I got to episode like 6, and it's like I liked it, but I don't know. I don't know. I appreciate this show. I think it, like I'm not trying to dunk on it. I'm not trying to say it's bad. I don't think it's bad. It's just not something that's gelling with me personally. And this episode, I don't know. I just wasn't really invested in anything that was going on. The egg guy was kind of interesting, at least. He was very strange. But a lot of this episode is kind of slow. Is there any dialogue? She speaks in the last one, and I think
Yes.
Jack speaks. But it's I don't know that there's any dialogue until that fourth short. If there is, it's at least a minimal dialogue episode. Um,
Yeah, the thing with Samurai Jack as a show is, and that sentiment you have is how I used to be when I was a kid. I used to not care for the show at all. I thought it was boring. I thought it was dry, and it was like there's no talking. But like now,
well, please don't make my position sound really stupid. Oh, I can't
There's
watch
no
the show because they don't talk to me.
No.
How do I know what's happening?
No, I was quoting myself as a kid. That's what I would say as a kid. Is there's no talking, there's no dialogue. But no, as an adult, the thing with Samurai Jack as a show, it is one of the most versatile shows out there. It has everything. There are episodes where it is pure comedy the whole way through. There are episodes where it's super high octane action. There are episodes like this where it's going for a more artistic aspect. Like for season 4 alone, like I could tell you the best comedy episode, at least in my opinion, is Samurai v Samurai, where Jack meets this like wannabe samurai who's this like gangster hipster kind of guy. He's a complete mockery of the idea of what a samurai is, and the whole episode is just a bunch of jokes as this guy tries to beat Jack in a fight. It's great. And then there's other episodes, like if you want a more like artistic action oriented episode, there's Samurai v Samurai, which is like debatably my favorite episode of the entire series. And there's this really really intense action sequence between Jack and another ninja samurai named Shinobi, and the whole sequence takes place in this black and white like battle the entire time, and it's constantly messing with just these two different shades and the characters, with Jack being white, the ninja being black, interspersing in between the different shades of the background. It's one of, if not the best action sequences in the whole series. I would have picked that episode, no question. There's also the episode Jack versus Aku, which is, it's comedy and action, and it's purely just Jack and Aku interacting for almost the whole episode. There's The Tale of X9, which is a super like dramatic, very prominent character episode that if you're looking for an emotional episode, that's it. Like this season has, especially this season, has so many great picks. This is not the one I would have gone for. I still think almost any episode of Samurai Jack is award worthy, just because it's on a whole other plane. It's out of like everything else doesn't even compare, especially what was being made around this time. But there's definitely better Samurai Jack episodes than this one. Yeah, I mean, I could sing this show's praises all day long, honestly.
Thank you for the super chat, Matthew. I don't know. Day and night. I don't know. Favorite Pixar short, real quick, Shadow. It's a random question.
Yeah, I'm not even sure. My mind's not even thinking about Pixar right now.
Just say. Bao was really good.
Yeah, Bao was good.
La Presto. The Blue Umbrella.
What was the bird one again?
Piper.
Yeah, I'll go with Piper. I like Piper.
I've never seen that one.
That one's really good.
Huh. Interesting. They're all really good.
Oh yeah.
Except. No, I shouldn't say that. All right. Yeah, no, well, first of all, I appreciate those of you in the chat who kind of feel the same way that I do about Samurai Jack. I'm not giving up hope that I'll get into the show. I think I still might. I'm probably gonna try again because I get it. Like I get why people like it. I see it. It's just for whatever reason when I'm watching it, I just don't. I haven't found myself super invested yet.
I think
But
I
yeah,
think part of it is just the episodes that you've seen because, like you said, you watched the first 5 episodes of season one.
yeah.
Those don't do it for me either. Like there are episodes in
I
season
thought they were
one.
fine,
Yeah,
but
there are
yeah.
episodes in season one, especially in the latter half of season one. Um, but no, I agree. I think it takes time to get into the show, and it's just finding the right episode that finally clicks with you, where it's like, okay, yeah, no, I'm kind of enjoying this. I get it now.
I
Um,
also feel like if nothing else, I might if all else fails, right? If I can't get into the show any other way, I might just try starting on season 5. Because I know it's a little different.
yeah, I mean, I feel like especially with the first couple episodes, you'll get hooked immediately of season five. But I can definitely praise season 2 and 4 the most. I think those are the best seasons of this show, personally.
Mhm. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I don't know. I it was so interesting. It was really interesting, and I think it's worth being on here.
Mm-hmm.
And I definitely think that it is one of those shows that deserves it probably, yeah, like every year because I don't know, man. We just see so few shows that really play with the medium. Um, and I mean, I guess on that note, in today's context, watching the first segment where things are constantly super letterboxed, it was actually pretty bad. It was a cool artistic decision at the time, but now since we all have widescreen TVs and we're all watching, a lot of us are watching this on streaming services. What it means is that it is cropped on the right and left, right? Because it was a 4:3 cartoon, but then also cropped on the top and bottom because that's how the show was designed. So it just kind of creates this really awkward tiny screen where I don't know. It's a cool touch, but it's just watching it now. It's like I
Yeah.
wish it was bigger. I wish they would remaster the show and just reformat it to
Yeah.
fill up the screen more. I mean,
They made a
I
Blu-ray collection of the entire series a few years back, but I
it's
don't
what I
believe.
have.
Yeah,
No,
I
it's
don't
not
believe they
fixed.
did it. Yeah, which is
No.
unfortunate. I really wish that the series was like produced in HD, or if they could take the time to like reformat it, like you
Even
said,
if
because
not
it would.
HD, at least just widescreen. I
Yeah,
mean,
because it would definitely fix that problem. Because I agree, in today's time, that aspect of the show hasn't aged. Pun intended, by the way, hasn't
easy.
aged.
Turn your TV to stretch mode or what have you. Hey, Mark, did you miss the point where I said I was watching this on HBO Max? I was watching it on my monitor on the computer. I can't do that on the computer. Like I get it, and that's what I actually did with the Blu-ray version, and it doesn't work because the show is switching back and forth.
Yeah.
So if you zoom it in, then suddenly you're cropping off the top and bottom when the show switches back because
Yep.
it doesn't consistently stay letterboxed. It's constantly and it's shifting how much of the screen is blocked off. Like it's in some case, every other shot for a little bit of this just kind of changes. Some are thicker than others
Hmm.
in terms of what it shows.
Yeah.
So. Um,
It's a very good artistic choice, but it didn't have the foresight of aspect ratios changing in the future.
yeah,
So that it's
yeah.
just an unfortunate drawback, but I can't blame the show because
No,
like
no.
it was just the thing at the time. It was working with what it had available back then. And season 5 is in HD, so they take that into account when they mess with the aspect ratio in that season. So, you know. But yeah,
Hmm.
that's my thoughts on 4 Seasons of Death.
Okay, yeah,
It's all right.
we can certainly move on.
It's all right
Don't
for
be sorry.
It's all right for Samurai Jack standards, I should say. It's good compared to a lot of other stuff. It's all right for Samurai Jack standards.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Nominee number 4. We are back to The Simpsons once again with future drama.
All right. So, it's another future episode. Woo! This is, I think, the third one. Not that we've talked about, but that The Simpsons had. I think this is the third one after Lisa's wedding and Bart to the Future. This is the second one we're talking about because we talked about Holidays of Future Past.
Mhm.
Um, So in this episode, modern Bart and Lisa, 8 and 10 years old, stumble across Professor Frank's lab, who has a machine that can show them what their future will be like, Glaven. And so they see, and it turns out that in the future, Bart's dating a girl who kind of wants more out of him, expects more out of him, and to impress her, he steals Lisa's scholarship to Yale, and then decides to give it back to her to be nice. Also, Homer and Marge broke up, and then they got back together.
Yep. And Bender's there at one point.
Yeah. You guys are my new best friends. And then whatever Homer says.
And throws him out the car.
Stupid robot. Well, what show is continuing on today? It's The Simpsons, not Futurama.
Yep.
Professor Frink lets you peer into the future, and for some reason there's a samurai fighting with a shape-shifting master of darkness. Oh dear. So, yeah, this is not... I mean, I think when it comes to the future episodes of The Simpsons, it's really hard because Lisa's Wedding and Holidays of Future Past are such great episodes that it's hard for anything else to really kind of stand up to them. I know you haven't seen Lisa's Wedding yet, but I believe that gets nominated. If not, it's like a top tier episode of The Simpsons, like legitimately in a lot of people's top tens. So you'll probably watch it at some point. But but yeah, this is kind of in a spot. Although to be fair, Bart to the Future is like one of the worst episodes of the series. Period. Where in the future Lisa is president and Bart is a mooch who constantly like mooches off her and pushes her around. It is nonsensical.
Oh boy.
America would never go for a woman president. No, it's more nonsensical just because we don't even see how she becomes president. It's just like she's just president. It's like our character, like Lisa's a great character, she's real smart. I could believe that she'd be president, but you can't just be like, "Oh yeah, by the way, Lisa's president now." It's just such a cop out.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway, sorry. So, at any rate, this episode I thought was okay. I think that a lot of the humor worked, but I kind of found that it got a little bit too lost in its goofy future jokes to really be a meaningful story. I also don't really understand how one steals a scholarship. I don't know how Mr. Burns can award it to someone and then just give it to someone else. I know he's Mr. Burns and he's evil, but I don't think that's how scholarships work. And then, like, as far as, like, the whole Bart and, like, hey, it's great that Bart came around for Lisa. It's a heartwarming ending. This ending gave me heartworms.
You might want to get that checked out.
It's sweet enough, but I don't know. I just feel like it just doesn't do a lot, really. It's okay, but it's not great. I wouldn't say.
Yeah, I found this one to be rather lackluster, disappointing even. I would say. I don't know. I mean, like, I don't really have a lot of expectations when I go into Simpsons episodes because, again, You've
seen greatness and horribleness.
Yeah, most of my experience has been just the awards show nominees that we've talked about, and I've seen both ends of the spectrum. So it's like, what do we have this week? Is this going to be one of the best things ever? Or is it going to be an absolute mess? And it's like, I'd put it in the bottom half. I don't know. I wasn't really feeling it. It wasn't nearly as exciting as Holidays of Future Past. That's right. It wasn't nearly as exciting as that one. I thought it was definitely inferior. And yeah, I mean, like, I agree. I think the character moment of Bart, like, coming through for his sister is pretty good, but otherwise, I mean, I didn't really care for his subplot with that one girl that I don't even remember the name of. Yeah. I was getting nothing out of that. I had no emotional response, no interest. It just felt like
she's not. To be honest, the whole thing too is that, like, a lot of that felt like it could have just been done in present day Simpsons. Bart's had many girlfriends, and, like, Bart having a girlfriend who wants him to not be so much of a slacker, like that could have been done in present day. The only thing that really makes it matter is that it's they're Lisa and Bart are arguing about a scholarship.
Yeah.
But like, if you tweak that, I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's also a lot of things that did not age well about this
No.
episode. First of all, yeah, as Zora brings up, the Smithers joke is really weird. So I think I don't know if I mentioned it before, but The Simpsons at the middle seasons were really, really like not great to gay people. Every episode has them making some sort of gay joke. At the beginning of the episode, they have a joke where like you're gay for Mole Man. That one's not so bad because the butt of the joke isn't that you're gay; it's that you're gay for Mole Man, which is the worst. But then, of course, later we have to see Smithers, who is now injecting himself with a straightness drug so he can date women.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, I think I'd find it funnier if like conversion camps weren't a real thing. And I have no idea if anyone's tried to make some sort of straight drug, but I believe it. And if there were such a thing, I'm sure awful, disgusting people would force it on gay people. And it's, I don't know, that one's a real uncomfortable one. The other thing is Bart's teacher Edna is alive and has lines. And yeah, she her voice actress died and her character died, so she doesn't get to see the future. That one's awkward. Yeah. And then also just like a lot of this doesn't really line up with Holidays of Future Past, which is an episode I like. I just kind of prefer that future just because it's just a better episode. I mean, it somewhat lines up because I believe that's the girl that Bart ends up having kids with. But it's like, right, this episode implies that Lisa doesn't end up in Milhouse, and then that one does. And it's The Simpsons, of course it's going to contradict. But if I have to pick one, I'm going to pick the episode I think is just a better episode. I would like that to be the future. This one, another weird thing about this episode is the subplot with Marge and Homer. It seems, well, it's pointless. First of all, it's pointless just because
thank you.
There's a million Homer and Marge's marriage is in a crisis, and they almost cheat on each other episodes. There's a million of those episodes. It might be the most commonly used Simpsons storyline is Homer and or Marge are feeling like not appreciated and start falling for someone else. So going through with it, I guess, is a little bit different, but the fact that Marge dates Krusty doesn't make any sense for her character. The only reason I believe that happened is just the joke that Homer and Krusty are the same character model, but Krusty has hair and a clown nose and makeup, or a ghostly white face, depending on which canon you prescribe to. It's been explained a few different ways, but basically that's the joke: is that they're very similar, and Bart idolizes Krusty, but doesn't like his father, Homer. That was the initial joke and why those characters look so similar. Yeah. And I think that's the only reason why Marge dates Krusty, because Krusty is a lecherous, gross, disgusting. If Marge was feeling sick of Homer, her going for Krusty is like just weird, and it doesn't really go. It does. I don't know. It's like, haha, that's the joke that she's dating someone similar to Homer, but not him. But it just doesn't play, and it's just weird.
Yeah.
And then of course they get back together at the end of the episode, and it's just not earned in any way. I don't know. Very, very weird. I could have done without that entire thing.
Yeah, I thought that was a complete time waster.
And like I said, there's a lot of really goofy future jokes in this. I feel like the Holidays of Future Past still has some like really out there future jokes, but it doesn't feel like it's constantly bombarding you with like the future is wacky. Like this episode has a line. Grounded. Yeah, yes, and this episode doesn't because of how weird it is. There's a line where like, oh, we can do so many things since scientists invented magic. And it's like, that's a funny line, but in this episode it really does feel like there's just magic now, and it I don't know, it distracts me. Like Wiggum is like a RoboCop and
that serves chicken.
Yeah, that has chicken rotisserieing inside of him. Like it's just a lot of it's just weird. I like some of it. Some of it's funny. I think the offhanded line that McDonald's owns Yale is like peak capitalism. I think there's some of that works on the comedy end, but I think a lot of it distracts from what's supposed to be a more touching story. Burns literally stealing Christmas. I think that's a funny joke. I think that works. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I don't know. I would say overall, I think episode is just kind of a mixed bag. I don't think it's awful, but I don't think it's great. I think it's got some laughs in there. You know, if you want to see Bart and Lisa as like teenagers, it does have that novelty. I think this is the only full. It's one of a few episodes set in this time period. Um, but yeah, otherwise I wouldn't say this was worthy of nomination just because it's a future episode. This is the third time The Simpsons has done it, right? And it's not like that's like a novel TV idea. You know, it's like I wouldn't if it were a really great story, kind of like Holidays of Future Past, maybe I could say, all right, it deserves the nominee, but I don't think it does on technical impressiveness or on just like story or comedy or really anything. It's just kind of okay of all with everything.
Agreed. Yeah.
Um,
You took the words right out of my mouth with that.
yep. Let's see. So I was talking to the Real Jims earlier, and he wanted me to relay a message about how he felt about this episode. Let's see. Cred. We talked for a while. Where is that message? What did he say? I don't want to paraphrase him. Let's see.
Can't wait to hear your vocal impression.
Jim says that people. Well, he says in quote. Jim says that people actually like this one. Wait. I don't know. Oh yeah, that's right. He didn't give his review is that he liked it. I wasn't sure if people liked this episode or not. I didn't know the general consensus, but Jim says they do. So, boom.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. All right, and that was the nominees. Oh no, wait, no, there's one more.
Oh no, there's one more.
I'm just used to us ending on The Simpsons.
Yep. Now we've got the fifth nominee, with the episodes "Fear of a Krabby Patty" and "Shell of a Man."
If you at home would like to vote to try to compare Samurai Jack and SpongeBob, there's a link in the description. You can vote on the poll. I obscured which choice was SpongeBob just because I knew my fan base would go nuts for it. SpongeBob will probably still win. I haven't looked back at the poll, but at least it'll be a little less biased.
Hopefully.
Boom. All right. So. Let's start with Fear of a Krabby Patty.
Okay.
So Fear of a Krabby Patty is an episode in which Mr. Krabs decides to open the Krusty Krab for 24 hours, and in doing so, it basically just kind of drives SpongeBob to insanity from working nonstop. He specifically becomes afraid of Krabby Patties, seeing them everywhere, and just kind of being traumatized by them in general. This has all been a plot by Plankton to... Well, I guess this all hasn't... Or no, yeah, this has all been a plot by Plankton in order to drive SpongeBob to the brink so that he could pose as a psychiatrist and feast upon the goo that is SpongeBob's psyche. That's a pretty long one for a SpongeBob premise.
Yeah,
that's
there's a lot to it for like an 11-minute cartoon.
Yeah. So, I mean, this is the C.H. Greenblatt episode. If you've ever noticed why things look a little bit different, it's because C.H. Greenblatt had heavy influence on this one specifically, and that's why like Mr. Krabs' eye stalks look a little bit different. And there's just like I don't know
expressions throughout the episode too.
Yes, yeah, he just has a very specific style.
Yep, which I like, but I know it's not everyone's cup of tea.
I dig it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've reviewed this episode a few times. I don't really know what else to say. I mean, I was quoting. We were both quoting lines. This episode has been ingrained into my brain. You know, the feasting upon the goo. Mr. Krabs is swatting at Plankton, calling him a spider bug.
Day 15.
Yep. Yep.
Where'd you get that piano?
Yeah. Why is this called the other nominee in the poll? I just said it. It's because if I call Bob, a bunch of my fan base are going to vote for it, regardless of any other context. And if you genuinely thought this was the best, go for it, vote for it. But I'd rather not have just swarms of my subscribers voting on it just because they see the word SpongeBob.
Yeah. I
But yeah,
think
no.
I think this is a great episode. I really enjoy it.
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
to kick off a new season, especially after the show is post down, I think this is great. It's fun. It's a fun time the whole way through. I think the jokes all land. Like it's well paced. Nothing really drags. Nothing really overstays its welcome. And I love Plankton's whole scheme of it's like, I'm gonna outsmart Krabs by forcing him to have to one up me. And
Hey, Shadow.
Yeah.
Did you say that Tom Kane voices SpongeBob?
Yeah, Tom Kane. Yeah, that's him.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. Never gonna hear the end of that.
Yeah. Can we talk about how the Krusty Krab being open for 24 hours is a copy plot from Graveyard Shift?
Yeah.
No, because it's a different thing. I mean, yes, that particular story beat is the same, but they don't take the story to the same place. I mean, I guess SpongeBob is afraid in both of them, but it's a very different things and for very different reasons. Yeah, so I don't know what to say because this is just a really good episode.
In terms of comedy, it dominates this category. In terms of
this
comedy,
was the funniest thing.
100%.
Yes.
It kills it. Absolutely.
Yep. The other episode, including the other episode of SpongeBob, The Simpsons, Family, like all of that. This is just the funniest one. I think that it's a pretty top tier SpongeBob episode. I mean, I don't remember where I put it in my season 4 ranking, but I'm sure it was probably, I would guess, number 2 under Dungeons and Dragons.
Don't worry, Pirate Chat's got you covered. They'll know.
Oh God.
They'll know.
Yeah, they'll know. What's nice too about this is, as you mentioned, is that there's kind of like a first half and a second half. Like, there's the Krusty Krab being open for 24 hours, SpongeBob making Krabby Patties, loving it, and his slow descent into madness. And then the episode kind of shifts once we get to Dr. Peter Langton's office, where it becomes a bunch of just kind of like psychiatry jokes.
Yeah.
I think that's a little inconsistent with your opinion that Home Sweet Pineapple and the newer episode were too similar. Guess what? I literally do not care. I do not care. I don't care. I really don't care. When I review the episodes, first off, if I enjoyed it, I say so. But if I enjoyed it, whether the episode's a copy or not, I'll still give it a good. If the copy is why I enjoy it less, because it is reused, then that's why I enjoy it less. It's not like there's any episode out there that I think is like great and I love it. Oh, but you know what? It's just a copycat, so it's a terrible episode. No. So.
I think Employee a Million gets it, hit it right on the you know what I'm saying. They care more about your opinion than you do. So.
Yeah. Oh, they absolutely do. I think that's always been the case, to be honest with you.
Which is ironic, but.
Yeah. Apparently, it wasn't on my top 5. That's surprising. I don't know. I don't know what else was on that season 4 top 5, but and I haven't seen the rest of season 4 in a while, but no, I think this is a pretty top tier episode. I think that the comedy is very consistent. It's very diverse. It's very weird in a lot of places. You know, there's wordplay jokes. There's physical humor. There's absurdity, like with the old man floating through the montage.
Yeah, it's got it all.
Visual gags, like, Squidward passing out, like, after Mr. Krabs tells him he could take a break. Shell of a Man was my season 4 number 4. Oh, wow. Okay, then yeah, that opinion has changed. But we'll get to Shell of a Man in a minute. Yeah, I don't know. What else can you say? I just think it's pretty consistent. I enjoyed watching it. Not even as a, like, I remember back when I was a kid and could enjoy SpongeBob. No, I just enjoyed watching this. This kind of gave me life again and reminded me of, like, yeah, no, SpongeBob is just a good show sometimes. It's just a really good show. And as over-discussed, as over-memed, as over-whatever that it is, because it is, as it's just taken up too much of pop culture mindshare, in my opinion, it's still really good sometimes, so...
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's like, when it comes down to it, it's a fun episode. It made me laugh. The pacing was good. It checks all the boxes. It's solid. It's a good
cool
episode.
Art.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm a huge fan of C.H. Greenblatt, so I'm automatically biased, but, you know. It's good regardless of that.
One thing I did want to just bring up. What do you think... So this episode has Plankton impersonate a psychiatrist, and... I don't know, do you think this episode's trying to say anything about therapy?
I mean, it could. I mean, there's that one line when SpongeBob leaves and he's like, "No, it's all a sham. Therapy doesn't work." Like,
yes.
But I think that's it's going for like the opposite. You know, I think.
Well, see, because SpongeBob does say it works, because it does work for SpongeBob,
exactly.
even with Plankton actively sabotaging him.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what it's going for. Is, you know, it's like, you know, it can work for some people, and it absolutely does work for some people. Maybe not everyone, but it can be a solution. Which I think I think that's... I'd say that's all it's really going for, though. It's just making fun of that. The idea of Plankton thinking, "Oh, this is absurd," because he wasn't even intending to cure SpongeBob. He was just going through this entire process just to pull it out of him. You know, he was the one who's indirectly responsible for causing him all the trauma and stress in the first place. He just happens to accidentally cure it too. But
true.
Yeah.
Also, if you were wondering what happened between me and the show, basically just watch this episode.
So
I had to make too many SpongeBob reviews, and it broke me, and now I'm afraid of a square box.
So what you're saying is all you need to do is take a nap, and you'll get better.
No. Well, I mean, I haven't slept since that season 10 review.
Let's try some hypnosis. Let's see if some hypnosis can fix your problem. You'll have a dream, and the dream is you in your bedroom, and the season 11 thumbnail comes through your bedroom door and walks up to you.
No!
And he gives you a cookie pizza and says, "Come on, Pi, let's make a video together."
Oh, God.
Oh, my gosh.
Okay. So someone grabbed the top 5 from season 4. My 5 was Skill Crane, 4 was Shell of a Man, 3 was Merman, 6, 2 was Krusty Towers, and 1 was Dungeons. Okay, yeah, Dungeons and Dragons. Yeah, no, those are pretty great episodes from my memory. So yeah, season 4 is pretty good, man.
Yeah, I like season 4.
It's a mixed bag, but if you skip episodes, season 4 is great.
Yeah. Yeah, Skull Crane was like my favorite season 4 episode for the longest time.
I need to take some therapy with Dr. S. Haddo. You know what? Plankton is still a better therapist than the therapist in Pickle Rick.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Am I wrong?
Sheldon J. Plankton did not lecture to us for like 90 seconds about SpongeBob's inner workings of his character.
SpongeBob, let me tell you what I've observed about you, okay? Your problem is that you don't actually pay attention or listen to the world around you. You see, you're too busy blowing bubbles and being off in your fantasy land to understand that you've actually been shipped off into a prison instead of a day camp. No. And then you play out some sort of banal nonsense in order to distract yourself from the crushing reality that we're all going to die.
Where's the part about you going to the bathroom and wiping? That's the only thing that's like, I remember from that entire spiel is just the doctor talking about how she goes to the bathroom. And I'm like, okay.
Remember that. Oh, yeah, because she's like,
it just has nothing to do with anything.
We all have to do things we don't like to do, Rick. I don't like to go to the bathroom and wipe myself, but I do it anyway.
Yeah, it's
or
like,
whatever,
okay,
something like that.
You could have picked any example you want with that. Ugh. Awful. Now I want a cookie pizza.
Oh, man. It's a good thing the therapist plays a really important role in Rick, Mariah, Jack.
Pi, why are you spoiling me? Now the episode's ruined.
Yeah, and then
unless they kill her, I don't want to see it.
Guess what, Shadow? Guess who the therapist has been this whole time?
Who?
Evil Morty.
Oh my god.
But
no.
But Evil Morty's in a pickle. It's Pick Evil Morty.
No. Stop. I don't like this future. I want to go home.
And then a certain baby in outer space comes in.
All right, you know what? That's it. Thanks for tuning into the show, guys. We're gonna have to call it here.
Oh, we're not done. We need more. Okay. All right. That's Fear of a Krabby Patty. Moving along to Shell of a Krabby Man. We don't have a picture. We always forget to grab a second picture for those split episodes. Just Google here.
Here.
No, don't entertain people while I'm doing this or anything.
Here. I'm sorry. Listen.
Here, put this picture on.
What picture?
Hang on, it's coming in.
Okay. I hope you realize that because I'm streaming, it's gonna take. What even? Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. It's gonna take me. It's gonna take me like 2 minutes to do this, but oh well.
2 minutes to download a picture.
Dude, when I'm streaming and running OBS,
my
computer,
the download speed.
Yeah.
All right. Just screenshot it.
Hang on, I'm getting it. Keep going. Keep talking.
Okay. All right. So, Shell of a Man. This episode is about SpongeBob. Basically, Mr. Krabs molts his shell right before his big Navy anniversary party thing, and he's embarrassed to be seen without his shell in front of his Navy buddies. So SpongeBob has to impersonate him by hanging out in the shell. So, how's that picture coming, Shadow?
I'm working on it.
Okay, good. Shell of a Man. Is it an episode of Pie Guy after playing Sonic? Yes. Correct. Oh man.
And I've got it. There you go. Shell of a Man right there. Boom. You're welcome, everybody.
I'm waiting for it to pop in. Here we go. I'm excited. Oh man, that's stream delay. I still haven't seen it. Hello, Peridot.
Hello.
Oh, there he is. The shell of a man.
The shell of a man right there. Okay. Courtesy of Pi. Everyone in the chat, thank Pi for the episode screen cap.
Yep, this is a screen cap.
Right from the episode. It was in there for one frame. You have to pause at the exact moment to get it.
I'd like to...
Bread? Someone said bread?
Yep, that's what it is. A loaf of bread. You got me. Credits to Hawkeye Magazine for the image.
Thanks, Hawkeye Magazine.
Did you know that chitin from crab and lobster shells can be chemically transformed into all sorts of useful materials?
No, why would anyone know that?
Oh, photo by IM Mobile GmbH/Alamy stock photo. Okay. Yeah. We did it.
We did it, Reddit.
So we can turn biomaterials into different things. Did you know?
No, I didn't. I'm learning so much.
We can make bioplastics.
I'm learning so much today.
Chitin-based films are very porous, so they have a large surface area. Nice.
That's fascinating.
You know who else has a large surface area? Mr. Krabs!
Oh!
Fat jokes. Okay,
That was my air horn.
Yeah. So, anyway. Yeah, this episode... I don't think it's as funny as the previous one.
No, it's not.
I think there's certain jokes. Wait, this isn't from the episode? Shadow, someone in the chat told me this isn't from the episode.
Yes, it is. Did you pause at the right frame?
Yeah, you gotta pay attention.
Go back, watch again. It's in there for one frame. It's like subliminal messaging.
Ugh. If you say subliminal messaging, I'm thinking of an image of a cross-eyed hillbilly girl.
Sorry, you have to see that.
Yeah, you should be. Pie Guy, SpongeBob references are the devil. Also, Pie Guy makes SpongeBob references. I know. I'm a multifaceted
debauchery.
Oh my god. All right. Anyway, okay. So, we want to read the comment you made about this episode. I can't find it. Oh, in this episode, SpongeBob starts by acting like Krabs and saying things he would say, but later he fails at this and talks about himself. Character inconsistency really bothers you. I mean, that's fair, I guess. I don't know.
I love how this entire discussion has not been about the episode.
Because I don't know, man. How can you talk about SpongeBob? It's all been said. Everyone in the chat.
Everyone in the chat right now already knows the episode. Like, they already know it.
They literally already know my opinion.
They know your opinion. They know what they think about it. Like, you want to know what I think? I think it's okay. It's an okay episode.
Let's talk about toxic masculinity, Shadow.
Okay. All right. So, yeah.
It's poisonous, just like a shell.
Yeah.
No.
It's just like TM05 or 06. I forget which one it is. I think it's 5.
You mean HM or
no TM? It's Toxic's a technical machine.
You're a technical machine.
Yep, I am. Just like the computer that I'm currently streaming the show on.
I once called this wig struck done right. Sure, I'll just say that again. I don't really know what I meant by that, but I'll yeah, this episode is wig struck done right.
All right, I'll share your opinion.
You could just skip talking about Spongebob if you have nothing to say. Okay. If the rest of chat is fine with that, we'll just do it.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't have a problem.
I don't know what else to say about this. Like, it's the episode Shell of a Man. I don't know. I don't have anything to say about this episode. It's fine. Like, it's good. I like the message.
Yeah. No, I mean, I joked about it, but honestly, the episode kind of is a little bit about toxic masculinity and just the idea that, you shouldn't have to put on appearances for your friends because everyone has insecurities and everyone has flaws, and it's more beneficial to everyone to just kind of share them and talk about them and, be yourself rather than hiding.
Yep, and that's why I talk about Sonic with you all the time.
Oh my god. Yeah. Yeah, I talk about Sonic with you as well because I want to share our traumas. Has my opinion changed? Honestly, like, maybe it's come down a little bit since I first saw it because I don't think this episode is really laugh a minute. There's certainly some good jokes in it, but I wouldn't say it's as funny as the previous episode. That's really it. That's just it. Just comparing the two, apples to apples, I think the previous episode was funnier. I think this one has a few good jokes. I like the story. I think it works. I think it makes a lot of sense. And yeah, it's just a fun farce, really. It's kind of sitcom-y, and like one character has to impersonate another character and in front of the important Navy buddies. But yeah, no, I think it works. It's got a good message. It's solid. But I don't know that it's top tier. Here's a question for you though, Shadow. Which half of this do you think like was nominated or was the reason that they chose this? Right? It's possible they just thought it was a strong half hour of SpongeBob, which is completely fair.
Yeah.
Change the picture. This isn't real.
It is.
It's a joke.
Go back and watch.
It's called
the
humor.
No, it is 100% real. Go back and watch the episode.
You
have to find the individual frame. It is there.
Okay.
Go watch it and then come back when you find it, and don't come back until you do.
Oh my god, don't bully the chat, Shadow. I'm trying to...
Listen, guys, sarcasm is a thing.
I don't know how you're still watching me if you don't understand that I can be sarcastic. I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe they're trolling us. It's possible. This was also their premiere. Yes, because season 4 premieres must be nominated. It's
apparently,
a fact.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, 4 Seasons of Death was not the Samurai Jack season 4 premiere. You know what episode was? Samurai v Samurai. Or no, sorry, Jack versus Ninja.
Oh, the Twitch streamer?
No, oh my gosh, no, Shinobi. Samurai v Samurai was
no, Shinobi.
Shinobi.
You got really whiny when you
Jack
said that.
Jack versus Ninja is the season 4 premiere of Samurai Jack, and that would have been the episode I would have nominated. But hey, it might not have aired within the time frame though. I don't know.
Jack.
Whatcha? Yeah, I'm ready to be done with this.
Are you gonna answer my question? Answer my question.
What was your question? I forget.
Why do you think this was nominated?
You know what? Well,
do you think it deserves it?
I think I'd say it does because, and here's why. In terms of like this as a pairing, the first episode hits the comedy and the second episode hits the story/message aspect. So like when you put them together, it's hitting 2 of the 3, like right like that. And I think it's a good balance of one is more fun and over exaggerated and silly, and then the other one's like more of like, okay, we're gonna do that, but we're gonna focus more on like character and telling a
Mm-hmm.
serious message that we want to spread. I think it was honestly
Yeah.
picked because that pairing together has the best of both worlds, and as a pairing, like, sure, I don't think Shell of a Man is like nearly as funny as SpongeBob as Fear of a Krabby Patty, but in terms of the message, I think it is stronger in what it is saying. I think as a pairing, yes, it does deserve to be nominated because again, it is solid. It hits both fields. Technically speaking, that's a little iffy, but in terms of the other two aspects and the two that SpongeBob really excels at, not that SpongeBob doesn't have technical aspects, it does. I rescind that comment. That doesn't make sense. But
Okay.
those two aspects both kind of balance each other out. So yes, I would say this isn't nominee worthy.
Okay. Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, I think as a picture altogether, and it is true. Someone did mention they could have just nominated one half of the episode. But yeah, I think together it's just strong. It's got a good message. Not too dissimilar from that Camp Lazlo episode actually. Um, but yeah, it's got a good message. Shell of a Man does. And Fear of a Krabby Patty, meanwhile, is really funny and has some cool animation. Although it's nothing like crazy. So yeah, cool. Let's keep going.
Okay. All right, so that is all 5 nominees. So let me go ahead and pull this back up. All right, so this is the part where we
Run away?
I forget. Do we announce which one? No, we pick our ranking and then we announce which one.
I
won.
never know the order that we do.
Yeah, we pick our we rank them now. That's it. I remember still.
Okay. Yeah, no, yeah, of course. All right, yeah. So I think The Simpsons is at I think Family Guy is at the bottom for me.
Okay.
And then The Simpsons is just above it. They're really close. I kind of give it to The Simpsons just because like I care more about these characters, so I'm a little more invested. They're both kind of really wacky comedy focused episodes. I don't think the Family Guy episode's bad. I just like at least The Simpsons episode is a little more special and interesting, even if not by a lot. So yeah, so Family Guy bottom, Simpsons next, and then I'm.
What's it? I know what you want to say. I know what you want to pick. I know what you want to say. Just say it, Kyle. Just say it. Just say it. I know you want to say it. Just say it.
Here's the problem. Do I go with what I think is technically more impressive, or do I go with what I personally enjoyed more? And you know what, Shadow? You know what? I'm going to go with what I think is more impressive. I'm going to put my biases to the side, even though I just kind of said that I biased a little bit towards The Simpsons. No, I'm going to put my biases aside, all right? And I am going to put SpongeBob at number 3.
Okay.
Because I think it's funny. I think both episodes are good, but SpongeBob, it's never really gonna hit too hard on any important issues or messages or anything. It's generally, most episodes anyway, aren't going to be technically impressive on an animation standpoint. They're gonna be solid. So SpongeBob 3. South Park is going to be number 2. I do think, again, it's a little hard to judge just because this is so many years after the fact, but I think when you consider how important that issue, or how much of a media circus it was, and how they really kind of like touched on that issue right when it was relevant, and it's a fun episode too. Not only does it have a good surprising message, I love the twist about what was on Kenny's will. I thought that was just a great story beat. I'm going to put that at number 2. And you know what, Shadow? I'm going to put Samurai Jack at number 1. Because although it's not the episode I enjoyed the most, in fact, it might be the episode I enjoyed the least this week, I just think that it is ambitious, and it's trying to do something, and I think that it is very, very, very interesting.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
Yeah,
I,
no,
I
that's
don't know.
absolutely fair.
I don't know. I mean, if I was going on personal enjoyment, I would probably put, to be honest with everyone, I would probably put SpongeBob at number one. I kind of enjoyed watching Fear of Krabby Patty more than any of the rest of this. But no, I think, you know, this show really how we vote. It's however we choose because the Emmy voters, same deal, right? It's however they choose to vote. If they choose to vote on based upon who they know, if they choose to throw all the names in a hat and just pick one, there's no one aside from us that's going to audit them. That's no one that's going to check to make sure they've watched these episodes even or have any idea what they're talking about. So I'm going to choose, at least for this week, that I find Samurai Jack to be the most impressive and the most worthy of an award compared to anything else here. So, there you go. Shadow.
Yeah, okay, so my ranking is similar. I'm actually going to put The Simpsons at the bottom.
Okay.
I would
Fair.
actually put Family Guy above The Simpsons. Just slightly. It's not by a huge margin, but I would give it to Family Guy a little bit more. And then I would put SpongeBob 3, South Park 2, and Samurai Jack number 1. For pretty much the same reasons you gave for each of them. I think that the thing with South Park is South Park and SpongeBob are kind of in a similar vein where they both are going for comedy and message slash, narrative. But I think South Park wins it out over SpongeBob because in terms of the topic that South Park is covering versus the topic that SpongeBob's covering, and maybe it's not necessarily fair given their audiences, but South Park has a lot deeper thought put into what it's talking about compared to SpongeBob.
Yeah, and let's be real. Let's be real too. Is that SpongeBob has like a nice message, but it's not like it's
not deep.
It's not, and it's not really trying to push the message really too hard. I mean, the episode still ends with Mr. Krabs kind of degrading SpongeBob for being silly, or unmanly or whatever. It's not like it's some grand statement. I would say that the Camp Lazlo episode was a little bit deeper, the Hello Dolly episode, even though I don't think it's a good episode. I think that one was really trying to push the message, whereas this one kind of just uses it as a vehicle for comedy, which is fine. There's nothing at all wrong with that. The messaging is still good regardless. But yeah, if you're comparing like the message in South Park to the message in it's not, you can't even, you just can't. It's South Park's gonna win in this particular episode. I think.
Yes. Plus, I really like how South Park has the two different storylines going at simultaneously that cross over constantly, using Kenny as kind of the bridge between both of them. But I would definitely give it to Samurai Jack because in terms of this is outstanding animated program, and Samurai Jack out of all of this pushes to the extreme. They are ambitious, as you said. That show is constantly trying to do new things that had never been done before in cartoon series. The background art design of all 4 seasons is
it's
phenomenal.
beautiful.
Samurai Jack's best element, in my opinion, is the backgrounds. Like, hands down, every single frame or every single scene, shot, what have you, the backgrounds are gorgeous to look at. Definitely its best quality by far.
I don't think it's a competition in terms of like of these 5, which one visually looks the best.
Yeah, and that's
like
yeah, absolutely. As an art form, Samurai Jack leans the most into it. And the thing, like I said, with Samurai Jack as a show for like overall is that it's got everything. It's got comedy, action, drama, visual stimulation. It's got it all. And I think that, while this isn't an episode that I would have chosen, it's still a good episode, and it does represent the artistic merit that the show has.
That's beautiful, Shadow.
Thank you. It's ridiculous that all 5 of these episodes are going for the same award.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, the fact that I have to sit here and think, is Samurai Jack better or worse than SpongeBob is just... I mean, look, maybe you were talking about some episodes are complete comedy, and sure, that, you could compare that. But this episode of Samurai Jack to SpongeBob is just like...
nothing alike. There's nothing in common.
They're both animated. I can compare the animation.
Yeah, and that is as deep as it goes with this award. That's how the Emmy voters see
Yeah.
it. The Emmys see it is it's animated. Okay, same category.
They're both pictures.
Yep. Yep. That's it. So.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
But yeah, don't forget to go vote in the poll if you haven't already, because we're gonna be seeing which one won amongst you guys soon. For the time being, I can go ahead and announce which one actually won, if you would like.
Go for it.
All right, so the winner of the 2005 Emmy Award, per the voters themselves, was none other than the South Park episode, Best Friends Forever, which, not mad about it.
Yeah.
Not mad.
No, I get it. Again, I get it. But it just really kind of goes to show how hard it is, comparatively. Like, how do you judge... How do you judge a heavy, moral-based episode, that's trying to touch on a very specific issue with Samurai Jack, which is like the very opposite. It's literally timeless. Like, well, not literally, but kind of literally, because he's out of time, and it's not even clear when it takes place or what that it matters. So, yeah, no, I stick with my rankings. I do think Samurai Jack deserved it, but if you're going by which one had the most impactful episode or the most, meaningful thing, 100% South Park did. And I will say South Park is a little more accessible than Samurai Jack.
Yes, it is. 100%.
100%. That doesn't mean it's bad or better or worse or anything. Just that if you're an Emmy voter and you're throwing on these episodes in the background while you do your taxes or whatever, well, maybe not. That's not the right time of year. Whatever. You're doing grocery shopping and you're watching it on your phone or something. Which they wouldn't be doing in 2005. Yeah. But you get my point. My point is, listen, whatever people used to do in the mid-2000s, I don't know, while they were down at the skate park, these Emmy voters,
listen
when they
to their
were
MP3 players.
Yeah, you can easily understand the South Park episode without watching it, and you can't do that with Samurai Jack. Oh man. All right, so I guess before we announce what one, I feel like we did do this out of order, but that's fine.
Yeah, I think we announced the winner and then we do our ranking. Or no, we do our ranking, then we announce. I don't remember. Who knows?
The Storm. It's okay. It's okay. I think the internet might have cut out for a second there. But yeah, my Avatar pick is The Storm. This is the episode for a lot of people that really changed the show from a good children's fantasy show into holy cow, this is something special, because this is the episode where we get the backstories of both Aang and Zuko being told in tandem, and we learn that Zuko is not just some generic bad guy that's all honor. I want my honor. He is a person who has been literally scarred by his father for speaking out of turn in a war meeting. At 14 or however old he was, 15. I know I've mentioned Avatar a lot. I think Avatar's a really great show. You'll hear me bring it up probably next week, and then I won't again because I can't. But The Storm is a really top-notch episode. One of the best, if not the best, of season 1. Yeah, just really fantastic. The Storm was June 3rd, 2005. I disagree with that statement.
Uh-oh.
I thought The Storm... Hang on. Shadow, do your pick.
Okay, so... This was tough for me. The thing... So a few shows ago, I picked Operation Zero from Kids Next Door. And I really, really wanted to pick another K&D episode for this week. And I was going to, until I decided to change my mind last minute. Although I'll still acknowledge the episode I was going to pick, and I still think is a good episode of Kids Next Door, is Operation Future, which is the episode where number 4 has to go where Kids Next Door cuts it. Where number 4 has to.
Hey, take a breath, buddy. Calm down. All right, it's okay. We got time.
It's the episode where number 4 has to go to a boarding school, and it turns out that the person running the boarding school is this girl that wants to turn the whole world into females, and all the boys have to go into hiding, and it becomes this dystopian future. I think it's a really fun episode. I like the dynamic. I think it's really cool. The message at the end, while again not deep, is still a solid one that I agree with. Good episode of Kids Next Door. I really like it. One of my favorites. But the episode... See, and this is also tough because there's some good ones in here. But I think as far as it is, I'm going to pick a Teen Titans episode. Because I haven't nominated that show yet.
Okay.
And I'm going to go with probably Haunted. I know that's
the best one.
I know that's a very popular episode of Teen Titans, but it is a really, really solid episode. Robin dealing with the trauma of Slade being gone, and he's like hallucinating things. It's a great horror-based episode. I love the way that episode plays with lighting. There's a whole lot of darkness and shading that really makes that episode stand out. It's great. A very, very good character episode for Robin through and through. It has me on the edge of my seat every single time. So yeah, that would be my pick. Haunted.
Okay. Thanks for the super chat, Tunjay, who says that they would nominate Time Warped from Justice League Unlimited, episode 257, 494, from Teen Titans, and Worldwide Wabbit from Foster's Home. Ooh, Worldwide Wabbit. Oh, episode 257. Isn't that the one where they get trapped in the TV?
I think so, yeah.
Hmm.
That's a fun one. Season 3 of Teen Titans is pretty good.
All right, so maybe that Avatar just barely missed out. All right, 3 days.
Yeah, I mean, hey, didn't make it. It's okay. Pick another Teen Titans episode. There's some good ones in here.
No.
You could go with Bunny Raven or How to Make a Titan Animal Disappear.
Titanimal Disappear.
Yeah.
Let's see.
You could pick the Mad Mod episode, Revolution.
No, that one's no. Oh my god. What else was airing on Cartoon Network at the time? Or Nickelodeon even. Well, Fairly Odd Parents. What were they up to?
I don't know. I didn't pick any Nick shows as possible candidates for this year.
Did you pick any Nick shows ever?
Yeah, my nominee for next week's a Nick show.
Oh.
Please don't take it.
Okay, I will.
Aww.
Let's see. Oh, no, I can't pick that. I don't know, man.
Jimmy Neutron. Pick a Jimmy Neutron episode. When was the Jimmy Neutron Survivor episode?
What? Yeah, I picked the N-Men. I have no idea if it was in the time period, but I picked the N-Men. No.
Hang on, I'm looking up Jimmy Neutron episodes for you. I got you. Is the Trapped on an Island episode in this time frame?
Ooh, that's a good one. Ah, crap, I've been relying on Avatar too long. I gotta start actually thinking about these.
You have. Okay. Here we go. You could pick... What's Win, Lose, and Kaboom?
That's a TV movie. I can't pick that.
Oh, that is the Survivor one.
It's a Survivor?
Yeah, it's a Survivor.
It's not really
parody.
No, it's not. Yeah, it's just a generic game show parody.
There's a parody with Survivor where they write off their names and Bowlby votes himself off.
Yes, but that's only one section of the episode. It's not the Survivor episode.
Listen, that's all I remember. The N-Men is within this time frame.
Sure, I'll pick the N-Men.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't care. Whatever.
Wait, Stranded also falls in this time frame by 5 days. You could pick Stranded.
Do I want to pick Stranded, though?
It's one of the best episodes of the show, in my opinion.
How about Danny Phantom? What was going on with that this year?
Well, Ultimate Enemy was last
It's a TV
year.
movie.
No,
it doesn't matter.
I know, but I'm saying was the year before, so I think it would have been season 1.
Anything from season 1, yeah. Oh god.
I love how we're looking up a nominee for you during the show. Here, just pick the series premiere. Oh wait, no, that doesn't fit. That just barely doesn't fit. What about?
You know what? I'm gonna pick from. Oh no, that doesn't work. It's too early. Dang it. No.
Well, there were not a lot of episodes of Danny Phantom that aired with pick Fanning the Flames.
Okay,
there you go.
No, that one inspired horrible things.
Okay,
no.
Well, you know what? I'm sorry. I think it's a good episode. But not because of that.
You remember her name?
I do. That's why it's good. Okay, how about
Shadow? Why don't here? Give me a sec to look at this stuff. Why don't you continue on with the show by announcing what won the poll and how the poll did? All right.
I'll pull.
We're all gonna be fine.
I'll pull it up on my phone. Give me a second. I gotta find it in my sub box. I'll find the poll. Which of these? I gotta vote.
You're subscribed to me?
I am.
Cute.
Well, oh my gosh, that is a surprise. Okay. All right. Let's go.
Start by the bottom. Start with the bottom.
Yeah, started from the bottom. Now we're here. Okay, guys. So the five nominees coming in at number 5, 5th place with 4% of the votes. The Simpsons with Future Drama.
Okay.
Coming in number 4 is the Family Guy episode North by North Quahog with 12%. Number 3 is South Park with Best Friends Forever at 14%.
Ooh.
Should I announce number 1 or number 2?
Announce number 2, I guess. Okay. I don't know.
Coming in second place with 18% is the other 2005 nominee, and the winning episode with 52% of the votes is Samurai Jack: The 4 Seasons of Death.
Yes,
I am proud of everyone. I am proud of you all. I am so proud.
The strategy worked.
It might have been 51% before I voted, though.
That's fine.
Okay.
It's fine by me. Oh, you voted? We're not supposed to vote.
Listen, I had to see the results.
You know what? I got one. Okay. Take This, Ed, and Shove It. The season 4 finale of Ed, Ed and Eddie.
You know what's funny? I was thinking of picking that, but I didn't.
Oh, and then you didn't volunteer that. All right, good. Thanks, buddy. No. It out on November 5th, 2004, a day after my birthday. And yeah, it's the 2-parter where Eddie thinks that everyone's all grown up and becomes an old man, and he's just haunted. It's pretty fun. Really wild to think that could have been the series finale. For a little while, it was. Yeah, it's just a really fun episode. Ed and Eddie's a great show. And I think it's a standout one. Maybe not one of the absolute best episodes, but at least for season 4, I think it's probably one of the best. So. There you go. Take that, chat, who I haven't been looking at.
Oh.
My Brother's Keeper was a great episode of Danny Phantom that was not this year.
Okay, well,
I think Gravity Falls again. I don't think... yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So Shadow, I didn't look at this. You pulled the screenshots and everything, even I don't know what's coming next week.
Yeah, so next week we have the hour or more category for the 2005 Emmy nominees. Yeah, I forgot the year for a second there. We've got 2 of them again, just 2. First up, we have another CGI special with Dragons, a fantasy made real. Although this is another weird naming situation where I think in other regions it was named Dragon's World, a fantasy made real, as indicated by the screen cap I have. But according to the Emmys, it is Dragons, a fantasy made real.
The nightmare never ends with this stuff.
It really doesn't. It's such a mess. But yeah,
we should have just ignored the hour-long categories. We should just never.
No, because there's good stuff in here that is worth talking about. It's just that they throw in these CGI specials that don't deserve to be in the same category as some of this other stuff.
Get ready for some wacky CG dragons, baby.
The other thing, and this is something that maybe people in the Discord could help us out with. Join the Discord, by the way, if you haven't already. There's 2 versions of this that I found online, and I'm not sure which version was nominated because there's 2 versions and they're narrated by different people. So if anybody knows or could do some research to help us with that, that would be much appreciated. Yeah. But other than that, the other nominee for this category, and this is the one I'm excited for, Star Wars Clone Wars chapters 21 to 25. Pi, we got to talk about Star Wars again.
And just nominated 5 chapters? Wait, but which one is it?
Gendy's.
Oh, it's the 2D one.
It's Gendy's.
Oh, it's Samurai. It's
Samurai Wars. Yeah.
You know, Samuel L. Jackson played an Afro samurai.
Oh my
and
gosh.
the show is made by the guy who made Samurai Jack.
What? That's crazy. So basically, what you're saying is that Samurai Jack, Afro Samurai, and Star Wars all take place in the same universe because they're all connected.
Yes, the Samurai Extended Universe.
Yes.
And then Rick Mirai Jack gets in there.
Oh my gosh.
Rick-
and then
Rick
Samurai
shoots a-
Quack.
Rick shoots a portal and ends up in Duck Dodger's world,
Oh my
where he fights Duck Dodgers dressed as Samurai Jack.
Oh boy. But yeah, so those are the 2 nominees for next week, Star Wars and Dragons. It should be a good time.
Star Wars and Dragons.
I don't know. It might be a shorter show.
Don't say that. We'll come
But-
up with some stupid thing to fill up time.
Well, okay. Yeah, I guess we can think of something. So, I don't know.
We'll just watch it. We'll watch both versions of the Dragon documentary.
Yeah, that sounds like an awful idea. I don't want to waste that time in my life on that. One watch is enough. I'm sure.
Okay. All right.
But
Did
yeah.
you know that Phil Lamar voices Will?
Yes,
And
I did.
Samurai Jack?
Yes.
Did you know that Tom Kane voices...
Did you know that Tom Kane voices SpongeBob?
voices Eduardo?
Yeah.
Did you know that Tom Kane voices Eduardo and Tom Kenny voices Mr. Harriman?
Yeah. Did you know Professor Utonium and the narrator are the same person? Oh my god.
You know, that kind of makes sense, if you really think about it.
No, it doesn't.
If you really think about it.
No, it doesn't.
If you really think hard.
Nope.
Do you know that Samuel L. Jackson voices the professor?
Oh my god. Okay. Anyways, so those are the nominees for next week. Hope you guys are looking forward to it. It should be a good time.
Did you know that Tom Kenny voices the dragon in,
Did you know
in the
that-
Dragon document?
Did you know that Craig McCracken came on our show once, and he's the voice of Mojo Jojo? I hope we get Gendy on our show next week. Make some phone calls, Pi. See if you can get
Okay.
Gendy on here.
What does Gendy sound like? I don't remember.
You saw him
I-
in person. You should know.
But the problem is he sounded too normal. I can't just.
Just sound
Hello,
like
it's me,
Listen.
Gendy. I'm Gendy.
no. Okay, he's Russian. Just give him a heavy Russian
No,
accent.
I'm not gonna be racist.
That's
What are
not-
you
That's
doing?
not racist. That's not racist.
You assume because he's Russian, he has to talk like us.
Well,
Yeah,
you,
that's
you assume that because Craig McCracken made the Powerpuff Girls, he talks like Mojo Jojo.
okay, but that assumption hurts no one, Shadow. If I do
What
a
if it
Russian
hurts-
accent,
what if
it
it
could
hurts-
offend the Russians.
What if it offends Craig McCracken that you would make him talk
what if it
like
offends
Mojo?
monkeys? What
Yeah.
if it offends all monkeys, all JoJos everywhere?
Technically, Mojo's not a monkey; he's a chimp.
Did you know that Samuel L. Jackson
Did you know
voices
that?
Bubbles?
No. Did you know that the Gendy came up with the name Samurai Jack because it sounds like Sam Jackson?
Is that true?
No, I
That
don't
could
think.
be
I don't
true.
think so, but it could be. I don't think so though. But that would be funny if it was.
Did you know that Rick and Morty was inspired by Samurai Jack?
Gee.
The entire show. It's based upon Jack's inappropriate relationship with a little boy. Did you know that?
Oh my gosh. Oh dear. This is just like that time we talked about that Quagmire gag in the Blue Harvest.
You know, Dad, we do cutaway jokes on Robot Chicken.
It's the most popular show on Cartoon Network. Oh, I'm gonna die.
Tom Kenny voices Chris
No.
from Family Guy. He voices Family Son named Robot Chicken.
Oh my god. Did you know that the Emperor from Robot Chicken created Family Guy?
Well, gee, Chris, you can take that information and,
Dude, I hope that Wally with a gun shoots Family Guy. What has this show done to us?
I didn't have any soda today. I just had a Starbucks refresher.
Dude,
I think you
this,
just You make me this way, Shadow.
This show has spawned so many inside jokes and memes between us that that's all it's become. That's all it is. Every show for the past 5 shows has ended like this. You don't have anywhere else to be. Listen,
it's just starting
to descend into madness.
Do me a favor, go into the comments and like this video. Go into the click the thumb up.
You say it.
Give this a like if you enjoy Shadow and I dying at the end of every episode.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? Next week our 50 minutes of our stream could be this, guys.
Now, Shadow, let me tell you.
CeeLo Green yet?
Shadow, let me tell you the problem with you is that you make up these award shows in order to run from your problems. Okay, you need to face your problems head on. You need to recover from being a Sonic addict.
Mrs. Therapist, you mind some electric guitar?
Don't you interrupt my monologue. It's so important. How would we know who Rick is as a character if the show didn't tell us? How would we know?
Okay, Dr. Langton.
I thought Rick was a family guy, okay? Who made us laugh and cry. I thought Rick was a hero. I thought I was supposed to act just like Rick. I didn't know. I don't know what voice this is.
I don't know what voice that is either.
This is Gendy. Hello, I'm Gendy.
No,
I made Samurai Jack.
Oh my god.
Gotta get back. I called Coolio up, and he made Samurai Jack.
It's Will I Am, not Coolio. Oh my god. Oh, and speaking of I am dead.
Thank you for the super chat, Mr. Robot Guy. Boy, this is just like that time I ran over a child.
Brian, no!
Stewie, look out!
Just like how Kenny died in this most recent episode we talked about. Dude, all of this. It's all connected.
I wish that episode of Family Guy got nominated.
Dude,
I wish
it did. I do too. I'm so glad we're at the point where our award show literally has its own expanded universe where everything connects to itself. We've literally seen so many of these episodes that we can just tie all the years back to each other, except for Bob's Burgers. Let it die. I don't want to go back to that.
Let's play a game. In one of the future weeks, let's just not watch one of the SpongeBob episodes and then not tell anyone and see if we can just. Memory. Yeah, I bet we could do it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm looking at one of the nominees coming up in a few weeks, and we could do that without watching it. Like,
is it UGG?
No, that's not the one I'm looking at. But
okay.
The one that we don't need to watch it. We can. We straight up can.
We definitely could have done Fear of a Krabby Patty because we were quoting all of the dang lines. All of them. A spider bug it's not even like an iconic Mr. Krabs line, but that is cemented in my brain. That is fermented in my brain.
Yeah.
Thank you for the fan art, CDCB. Great art on the Discord server. Check it out in the live show discussion. I don't know if it was intentional, but you definitely made me look like Morty.
Okay.
So.
All right.
All right. Yeah.
Let's reel it in.
So what's next week, Shad? Oh no, we did that already.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. We went long this week, so if we go short next week, no one can complain. Well, people will complain.
Well, I think there is one. Well, no, actually, never mind. That won't work. And we'll talk about it off stream. Anyways.
Okay.
We're good to end it.
Let's not watch the Powerpuff Girls episode when it comes out.
How dare you?
All right, everyone. Thank you for showing up to another week of our mental breakdown. Therapy's good.
Yeah.
But, only if your therapist's not evil. Look, there's some evil therapists out there, all right? It happens.
They want
so
your
if
money.
therapy doesn't work, thanks, Mr. Krabs. So if the right therapist if the wrong therapist, you gotta listen. If you're having trouble with therapy, try a different shrink. That's Pie Guy's advice. Take advice from a guy not in therapy.
Yeah.
And look how much of a mess my life is.
Yeah.
Also, you know what? It's okay to not be manly. Just ask Shadow.
Yeah.
Shadow actually looks like Mr. Krabs without the shell.
Yeah. No. No, I don't.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys. See you next week.
PIEGUY
Wow,
rules out.
I'm literally dead.
Yep. Literally.